searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Don't stare 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me. My darling dear, you're never here. When I'm in pain, you hide and disappear. Like shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. Yeah. I prayed for you and kept you near, in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares too. I used to run with you through the great big leaves, laugh at you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe the home was just you and me. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh, I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me.
Hey everybody, we are back, actually for real this time, with fixed equipment, which I'm very happy to say. I had a situation last stream where literally anything that could have gone wrong went wrong. So it was pretty hilarious all at the same time. But needless to say, it's the one time where I deleted the footage because it was virtually unusable. So sorry to anybody who was interested in rewatching that. It doesn't exist. I'm going to take any clips that may have been helpful or useful from that stream and put them up, but like 99% of it totally useless, no sound, video going in and out. I don't know what the heck happened, but everything's fixed now. So we're gonna try this again. We did do one thing last time. So this, we actually did put a coat of pink on, but again, because the footage wasn't usable, I wanted to do that for you guys again. So I went ahead and stripped it, reapplied the black base coat, and then the zenithal highlight, which is doing it with the airbrush. And we're still gonna do the pink this time with the airbrush. Last time, we tried doing it with the regular contrast paint and the brush. I think that this is gonna lend itself better to the airbrush, just so that we can focus on doing the weathering detail versus how well the pink dries, because this is gonna be a very bubblegum pink tank. And that's pretty tough to do with a brush. So we're gonna try using the airbrush to see how good of a coat we can get on it. So let's give that a shot. So first thing, we have, this is our paint. Princess Pink, which is very, very accurate. I would definitely describe this as like maybe a peach pink, because it's crazy bubblegum. Like I have some from the leftover on this little paint dish. That's insanely pink. So this is gonna be, it's not gonna be like a made scheme, but it's definitely gonna be pretty girly. But you know, we've done pretty grimdark stuff all the way up until now. We're branching out a little bit. For anybody who cares, we're still gonna make it look nice and weathered and nasty by the end of this. So don't worry, it's gonna look really somehow pink grimdark, which is gonna be fun. Okay, so we're using the airbrush to do the initial coat of this color after the zenithal highlight. And just to reiterate to everybody, I have never done this before. I have never done this before ever. So this is the way that this turns out is the first time I've ever seeing it. So let's see. Sorry for the pump noise. Wow, that's pink. And I'm not worried that it's getting on like the treads, because we're gonna go over that again with the intended colors. Okay, let's take a look at this thing. We'll switch to the paint cam. That is crazy pink. And believe it or not, it's still gonna look weathered and nasty by the end of this thing, I promise. It's gonna look weathered and nasty, just like we always intended it to. It's gonna be pretty grimdark by the end of this thing. But those panels are definitely princess pink. That's for sure. Do a little bit more on the front here. So this is kind of, it's like bubble gum, straight up. I can't believe how pink that is. Pretty insane. The Zenithal highlight did less than I thought it was going to do, because I thought it would make the bottom a lot darker, but that's okay. I do see, at least maybe I can see it, but maybe you can't. The top portion here is definitely a little lighter than the bottom, but it's much, dang, I got some of you might be able to see that. Let's see. This is why we have to paint in an oxygen tent. There's some dust that got trapped into the paint there, but we're just gonna call that character. It's part of the scenery now. I'm not gonna go and take that off with a tweezer and then repaint it. Ain't no way. But this is looking good. So we just have to let this dry. And then the way that this is gonna really pop is we're going to do, when you see all the other colors come in, that's what's gonna make this stand out. And it's gonna make it look less silly, because right now it looks a little silly with the hot pink scheme. But we'll get there. So let's zoom out a little bit. And actually, I'm gonna reposition the camera some. Whoop. There we go. Just want a little more inside so that I can zoom in a little more naturally. There we go. Okay. So first thing, as this is drying, let's prep some of the other things that we need. So we do have highlight colors. So these are going to be the general highlights. So as light as this pink is, we have to use lighter to highlight it. So we have Pink Potion, which is the second highest, and then the Doomfire Drab, which is the lightest possible pink that we have. So this is what's going to serve as our like chip situation, how we're going to make it look like it has deep scarring. The Doomfire Drab is going to do that for us. And the way that that'll work is actually, let me show you, is something like this. So say you have pink on the surface, something like that. Pretend that's pink. And then you want to put the color inside here. You're going to do a dark spot in the center, and then you're going to add this color, the highest highlight, to the center of that dark spot to make it look like it's burnt around from like a bullet hole. And then you put this, it's revealing the metal underneath, which is still pink, or whatever color that you were using for the base coat prior to this. So that's what you'll do with this. And then if you want to get hyper fancy, you can, if you say like, oh, it went really deep, that particular bullet or whatever that battle damage is, you can add some flecks, little dots of a metallic to make it seem like, oh, it went even below the paint. It went super, it didn't just take off the first couple layers, it went deep in there. So that's how we'll do some of the battle damage a little later. But first thing, we're getting pretty dry here. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna speed it up by just blowing some air on this. Sorry about the pump. But this is definitely how I've never done a vehicle before, so this is actually the largest surface area that I've ever dealt with. So drawing times are going to be a little bit weird for me. But I just want to get that dry enough so that I can start doing a little bit of experimentation on the panel here. Because I want to see just how well some of these colors highlight and if we need to make any changes. So, put my glasses on so I can actually see. Let's try the Weird Elixir, which is a lighter pink than what we have on there, to see if it's even light enough. Because if we need to, we can mix even like the oh, actually, you know what? It's Pink Potion, not this one. A little bit lighter. If we need to, we can mix this with a white to make sure that we get a light enough hue to actually make this effect work. Let's give that a try. Okay. I messed up my camera position just a little bit here. Hang on. Okay. I think this is as good as it's gonna get for now. Okay. Let's see if this is a light enough pink. So I'm going to start by just doing a little bit of edge highlighting here. Oh yeah, that's almost white. Wonder if that's almost too light. Could be. But we're going to stick with it for now. And if we need to go over it with a darker pink, we will. Those rivets are going to be a real, really interesting spot to weather, because I am going to make them look a little rusty, maybe look a little, have that. It's not. I'm not going to use streaky grime on this. I've committed to no streaky grime because I want to actually do the effect using just paints instead of like a technical substance. Because not everyone necessarily has access to streaky grime. So to create the rust, we're going to do like a brown oil paint that's been watered down. And we'll see how good that goes, because again, this is my first time doing that. Edge highlight's coming out pretty good. Some people might dry brush this instead. That's also okay. This has a big flat surface, so I'm a little hesitant to dry brush because I feel like I'll just end up hitting the flat surface a lot. But we're gonna go with our gut here. This is how I think it's gonna look best. Okay. A little bit of edge highlighting there. I think that it's still pink. Like I can tell that it's pink from where I'm looking. It doesn't look too white, which is kind of what I need it to be. It's not too white. Let's keep going. I think we'll focus on one side today so that I can show you sort of what the contrasts are that I'm looking for. Because if I go to the other, if I just do this the whole time, I don't think it'll be very interesting. I want to make sure this is at least entertaining for you guys. It's always funny when you first start a project like this, because right now, to me at least, it looks kind of boring. It looks like it's like, oh, this is just a one big tone color, but we haven't even started yet. There's so much to work on here. But I also don't want to take forever on it. Also, if anyone's curious, see what I'm doing here? I'm manipulating the model, not my hands. Because I've got super shaky hands. And I cannot hold this thing still even if I wanted in the air. So my hands are resting on the table, plus the model is always essentially touching the table or the wood block. Messed up a little bit there, but that's okay. We're gonna mess up a lot, probably, over the course of this thing, which are just opportunities to learn. We're the learning channel over here. For anybody that's just joining, again, this is not this. I get, well, maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe there's a princess tank. It's for my wife. She begged me to make this model pink because every other model that I've done on this channel and this stream has been a grimdark gold, black, or a green for some of the clips that I've done. And she wants something for her desk at work. I said, no problem. We're gonna do the little tank that I just got pink. She's very excited. And that's why we all do this, right? That's why we all paint Warhammer, is to impress girls. You want to come over and see my hand-painted miniatures? At least that's how I got married. No, I'm just kidding. I started this... I pulled the wool over her eyes. I started this hobby in mid-marriage, 5 years in. So it was too late. It was too late to get out. No, I'm just kidding. It's a horrible situation. Imagine hiding your personality. You don't want that. You don't want that in any relationship. Okay. We're getting close to the end of our first edge highlight. I was pretty conservative with it. I really tried to make it just the edge of the perimeters of this thing. I think it probably could be thicker, but I'm gonna call it good for now. If we need to make it thicker, we will after. But I'm going to keep going with this sort of style. It's gonna look neat at first until we mess it up on purpose. We're gonna mess it up on purpose later. But for this initial pass, the lines are gonna be pretty crisp, or at least as crisp as I can make them. There we go. The other side. Man, this is gonna take a ton of edge highlighting. Really across this whole thing. Oop, messed up there. Got a little bit inside of that thing. It's okay. Fix that later. There we go. Oh man, this little cross thing. That's gonna be difficult. But I think we can do it. I'm truly trying not to mess up the smooth paint job. The reason I'm trying to be so careful is because if I have to re-go over the smoothness that the airbrush created on this thing, it'll take away from the evenness of the paint effect. It'll look less, it'll actually take away from the effect later. The initial coat, meaning the initial color of the panel, if it's more neat at the beginning, when you add those effects like weathering later down the line, it's more obvious to the eye, which is why I decided to airbrush it instead of just using a brush. But you really could. I'm being picky. There's no reason to, if you don't have an airbrush, this is completely still doable. Don't feel like you can't do this. On every other model that I've been doing, I haven't used an airbrush and we've achieved very good results. So if you need help doing things without an airbrush, we can definitely teach you that. Okay. Did my best on that little cross thing. Ooh, it's got curved surfaces here. Try this. Holding my breath. The key here is to have your brush pointy enough to where when you move it on its side like this, sometimes the bristles will sort of get away from you, meaning that they will bend upward and they will go above the lip of the crease that you're working on. And it'll be bad news for everyone involved. Okay. That is giving it a good amount of depth, so I'm happy with the results so far. Of our bubblegum tank. Need to try to stay on camera if I can. Okay. Is this hot pink? What does hot pink look like? I wrote it as hot pink, but this definitely looks like Hubba Bubba bubblegum. If anyone remembers that. It's still available. It's like got a goth duck on it. Which is why is a goth duck the mascot for a chewing gum company? Are they implying that goths chew gum, or that goths are ducks? I don't know. Some like shower thoughts right there. Some philosophical ponderings. If anyone knows, let me know. If anyone works for Kellogg or whoever the current owner of the Hubba Bubba brand is, and is part of the brand strategy team, hit me up, send me an email. Tell me why the duck is goth. I want to know the story. Okay. Oh yeah. It's coming out way better than I expected with the edge highlighting. And it's still okay that some areas are not quite perfect. This is not the perfection stream. This is the learning together stream. Because if you're seeing me do it here live, that means it's the first time I've ever done it, which is 100% true. There we go. These tiny little raised bricks right here, that's gonna be tough. I wonder what those are supposed to be. Okay. Man, this is the edge highlighting hour. But it will be worth it in the end, I think, with all this edge highlighting, because that's what's gonna, like I said, it's what's gonna bring out the wear. Because if other things are neat and then you see something nasty, it makes it look more nasty. It makes it look like, oh wow, that something happened. I wonder if that has a term in art theory where, like, if you see something really perfect or nice looking juxtapositioned with like a gross object, it makes the gross object look more gross. I guess you could just call that contrast. But I bet there's some, I don't know, Italian word for it that's way fancier. Okay. Keep going. Ah, messed up a little bit there. Okay. Thankfully, we're still on the solid color portions. When we get a little bit more detailed later, and we start adding the effects, that's really when messing up is going to be more difficult to fix. But right now, it really just involves taking that first color, the Princess Pink, and reapplying it to any area that we accidentally go too much over with this edge highlighting. Okay. I think we're, wait, have I missed? I did miss one spot. I haven't been doing this in any kind of sequential order. It's just been kind of like what I see. So, trying not to miss any obvious areas. Okay. The treads are going to be a really dark, contrasting metallic, because I want those to be really obviously used. I'm going to add dirt to them and all that kind of stuff. I hope that this is relaxing for anybody watching. Okay. Did I miss anywhere? Yes. Up at the top here. Okay. And this one last circular rivet thing. There we go. Edge highlighted our hot pink, or bubblegum pink tank. Let's focus up a little bit. So that took a long time. And we're going to start doing a little bit of contrasting. But I'm going to take that kind of highlighted effect a little further just by dot highlighting these rivets here, just to give it some more depth. This is adding a 3D visual identity to it when you do something like this. And I know that the, dang it, just messed that up. And I know that we're gonna make a lot of these rivets kind of have a drippy rust effect. But one or two of them will still have this color kind of shine through, which is going to be like visual treats to whoever's looking at it. Oh, good morning. Oh, good morning to you. It's nighttime over here. But thank you for joining the stream. I'm gonna mispronounce your name, probably pretty badly. Yoi Chara, maybe. I apologize for bad pronunciation. Thank you. It's we're doing a very girly tank today, because everything else that we've done on the channel has been pretty dark and gross. For example, let me show you one. For anybody who's not been here, here is the last guy we did. And by the way, this is going to have the same level of detail as this. So we will get there. But this took like 11 streams from beginning to end. But we're going to teach everybody who watches this how to do that on this. But this one's going to be extremely girly. So I'm excited to see how girly we can make it, while also making it look like it actually is a tank. Meaning that it's going to have like battle damage and stuff. Yeah. Absolutely. We paint these from beginning to end. They start out, they look like, if you've never seen one that's not colored, they look like this. This is just the base plastic. And then by the end, this is what you end up with. Let me see if I've got another one. The last one we did was this guy. And we did him in non-metallic. Thank you. I don't think I'm a genius, but I appreciate that. This one is non-metallic metal. So we learned how to do, I taught people how to do like this effect. Instead of using a metallic paint, something like this, which when it dries, it looks metallic, we use grays in a gradient with a makeup sponge to make that look like this, instead of using a brush. So there's all kinds of things that you can learn how to do. And we're gonna do that on here. It's gonna be fun. But for this guy, let's see, what's next? We need to do some more contrast on here. Oh, we're missing one spot. But I appreciate the compliments. Thank you. Oh yeah, it's gonna look good. And I sincerely appreciate you watching my little stream. It makes it a lot more fun to see that people enjoy it. Okay. Now, for the next steps here, I think that the best thing that we can do is we can probably let's make some contrast just so that this stands out a little bit. I am going to use for the treads. We're going to go with, let's try gunmetal gray. We're going to use a dark metallic for the treads so that we can bring out the color of the pink even more. Because when we add this, it's really going to make the pink pop. And we'll use a big brush for this. And I'm just doing this pretty quickly just to show how this is going to make that pink stand out more on the rest of it. This is the darkest metallic that I have. And you do want to use the darkest possible for something like this, so that when I damage it later, the shine from the lighter silvers that we'll use will stand out more. There we are. This is going to need a couple of coats because that pink underneath is really coming through. Thank you. I have a lot of fun doing it. It's very relaxing, as I'm sure your art is, which is very nice, by the way. I watched the replay of your last one. That drawing is super good. You have excellent color theory. Let's do this little... So there's a roller inside here. I'm trying really hard not to touch the sides. Actually need to take my glasses off, because I feel like they're falling off my face. There we go. Okay, but see how this outline is making the pink stand out more? That's what we're looking for. So try your best and use a very dark color for the metallic treads so that your whatever your base color is for the panel stands out more. That should probably be on camera. There we go. Now we'll do the. That part is the one of the most dangerous parts. The interior next to the panel that you want to keep pink. So that's why we start with that, and then we can go to the easy ones, the much more flat surfaces like this. Yeah, I'm really excited how this is going to end up. Okay. Zoom out a little bit. Yeah, we'll definitely need to do a second coat of this, especially on these big flat surfaces, because you can see the pink come through. And for this, you really don't want that. We've got to let it dry first. Okay. I'm trying. This is all. If you see anything that I'm doing on here, it's generally my first time. I try to do techniques on this channel that I haven't done before, so that I can show people what a beginner is, what doing it as a beginner is like, so we can learn together. I've never done a vehicle before, so I'm hoping that this turns out well. Okay. The next thing we're going to keep on this side. Let's see if we can try... Let's see if we can try a little bit of battle damage. So the way that you would do battle damage typically on this, I'm wondering if I should apply a wash first. No, I'm gonna go with the not doing that. So to apply battle damage on something like this, you would take, we're gonna use our sponge from previous videos. So you attach this to this tool. This is a PC component, like grabber tool for like electronics. Oop, I dropped it. So you're gonna grab it like this. So you're gonna have it like a surface area like that. And we'll test it on some paper. Okay. Let's do a doodle really quick. Thank you, Chana. I didn't pronounce that right at all. But thank you for being in the chat today. So for the battle damage, let's use a black. Thanks. It's the stream duck. Okay, so with a sponge like this, this is the effect that you're gonna get. It's gonna look like a chipped surface, so something like this. So see how it's like powdery? That's what you're looking for. So when I apply, I hope this doesn't mess it up, but we're gonna do it for the first time. So like this. So now it looks like it's damaged a little bit on especially like the edges, certain areas. And the sponge's texture is what's gonna accomplish that for us. And we're gonna pick strategically where we'd like that. And it may look like a lot, but I'll show you how it's gonna stay looking nice here in a second. So we'll do like a big one right there, something like that. So for something like that, so say that you're pretending that that's like a big bullet hole, like it just got hit with a with another tank's bullet. So the way that we're gonna make that, let me dry it out really quick. I'm using the airbrush to just spray air on it so that it finishes drying. So the way that you make this come back and look like it's like a battle damage chip is we're gonna come back with the highlight color, the pink potion, and we're going to put little dots on the inside of the black that we just put there. So now it looks like the hit revealed the paint underneath. Do that over here. And over here. There we go. And if we want to get extra fancy, oh, thank you. Well, I hope that it's helpful. But you are good at coloring. I saw your drawing. There we go. So let me bring it a little closer. So now it looks like the side of it got hit with some ordnance and it revealed the paint underneath. And that's only for the black use of the sponge. If we want to do, say, like a dirt effect, then we're still going to use a sponge like this, but we're going to use a dark brown paint. And let's push the effect of this a little bit more by adding the bright metal metallic inside. So you're going to put this inside of the you're going to put that inside of the pink that you've already done. So let me show you what I mean. So you take a little bit of metallic and you're going to do it even on the inside of that highlight that you just did to make it look like the gash went even deeper. You're giving it like a shine. So that when people look at it, it looks like the damage went deeper than just the paint. See if we can express that here. So that's the first hit that happened for that. Now, let's see. Another effect that we can try is we can do some rust effect. So the way that you do that is you're going to take some oil paint brown and I'm going to mix it with some white spirit. So white spirit is just a medium thinner, so it's mineral spirits. I don't have like a dropper. Let me see. By the way, this is my first time doing this too. So if anybody is not confident in doing this, neither am I. So I hope that gives you some confidence that it's possible to do this. So I have no idea if that's the correct amount, but we're going to try it anyway. The goal is to have an extremely thin amount of oil paint here. I think that's still too much. Actually, we'll do it this way. I'm going to mix it in a separate, I'm going to put the oil paint here and I'm going to take the white spirit from the other side. There we go. I need it to be really, really thin. Thank you. Actually, this might be easier. Use a larger brush to soak up more. There it is. Okay. So this is how, at least from researching, how we're going to do a rust effect. So, from what I can tell, the way that you accomplish this is with a extremely diluted. It's not clean. In fact, let me show you. Very messy over here. Let's see if I can turn this. It's not organized. Well, I mean, it's sort of organized. Oh, Smoochie. It's a beanie. It's a Beanie Baby from like the 90s. But he's my helper. He tells me when I've stopped being funny. But yeah, I guess I can do this. Let's see. Hopefully my camera doesn't cut out. We have lots of art supplies all over. Which, by the way, anybody who wants to know how you collect all this stuff, it takes a long time. I did not get this until much, like it took years and years, so don't feel like, oh, actually here's a better view. Is the paint wall. This is what's always in front of me, because nobody's seen the front of my desk. But down here, there's all of you. But that's the studio tour of my whole thing. If anybody was interested. Okay. We'll get back to it. But thank you for asking. This is the Golem painting studio. Which, by the way, also, if anyone was curious as to is for if anyone. Oh, thank you. If you ever come to Los Angeles, be happy to show you guys around. Okay. So for the oil effect, let's try it right here. So essentially, you just saturate it like that, and then you take a dryer brush, and we're going to pull it down. So now, that looks like water has accumulated and dripped downward. And we're going to do that with essentially all the rivets and maybe a few other places. So for anybody who wanted to know how to do like a weathering effect like that, that's how you do it. So let's do that for a few more. So watch what I'm doing here. I'm just pulling down. So see, it started out really girly, and it's still girly, but we're making it look like it's been rolling around in the dirt. It's an actual tank that gets use. So let's do that for the rest of them, because these rivets are where that would happen, where water would accumulate. And the way that this actually works, I know I've been silent for a minute, but the reason that this actually works is because oil paints have a very long dry time. So when you put them on like this with the mineral spirits, you can drag it down like that. Where if you use just regular acrylic, it would dry too quickly and you wouldn't be able to do this effect. So let's add some more weathering, but this time I'm actually going to use a little bit of the brown here. Okay. Still got a lot to do. Ooh, you know what we need to do? We need to add another coat to our treads here. They've gotten, make them more opaque. So we're just doing the treads again, just to keep making that pink go away. No, the rust effect comes after you do the initial color. Because if you do the rust effect before the initial color, then you're going to have problems getting it to show up effectively. So you do whatever your base color is here. So in this case, pink. And then after you're done doing that, use the oil-based paint or whatever the whatever your medium is. I think you could probably do this digitally. And then apply that secondhand, because this is going to take a long time to dry also. It probably isn't even fully dry yet. So the steps so far have been base coating the model, in this case pink, and then applying the edge highlights, so the white or the pink potion edge highlighting, so the lines inside there. And then we apply some of the battle damage. And then we apply the rust. At least that's the order. You could technically do the rust maybe second after the initial base coating, but always do the initial base coating first. Oops. Okay, so now we have a nice second coat on the treads. And this is, I think, where we're going to pause this for this stream. We're at about an hour 20. I'm gonna have to get going here. Everybody's coming home, and it's getting a little late for me. Got to do some other work, but thank you to everybody who's been watching. Thank you, Yoshida, or Yochada, I think. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing. Thank you for joining. I'll be back to do more of this tomorrow, same time. It's going to be from 5 p.m. to around 6:30 p.m. my time, Pacific Standard Time. But thanks so much for everybody for joining. I'll see you guys tomorrow.